finally here, we noticed something is different, Jim. We're beginning to notice things are different. A lot of people are saying they didn't vote for X, Y, and Z, right? Well, now people are asking, was there another coup d'etat in the White House again? That's crazy. Well, here's what Benjamin Fulford has to say about it.
Going to disturb a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure that there's been another coup in Washington D.C. and that the Donald Trump from the tall one with Melania is back at the Space Force base in Greenland, and we have an obvious fake in the White House. Now I put out the photograph showing that this Trump we're seeing is shorter than the real one, the one who appeared at the NATO meeting. They've even trotted out an obviously fake Melania, but it's his actions and words that make it very clear that he is basically, according to the evidence I have, he's working for Jean-Michel de Rothschild, whoever is pretending to be Trump right now in the White House. Now, some evidence for this is that on July 2nd, President Macron of France, who's basically a spokesperson for Jean-Michel de Rothschild, had the first phone call with Vladimir Putin since 2022. And when he was asked, this was on July 2nd, when he was asked why they had this phone call now, he said it's because there's been a new regime in Washington.
Jim, that's very interesting. Even Putin seems to know things are different. And just in case you don't know, I did the effort of looking up who this is. Jean-Michel de Rothschild. That's clearly not him on the right, but we couldn't find his picture. He's a Rothschild that is not widely recognized figure in the Rothschild family, which is more commonly associated with prominent members like Mayor Ishmael Rothschild and his descendants involved in banking and finance. Family has a rich history of industry. Jim, you want to comment on that of a potential coup d'etat, according to Benjamin Fulford, because it sure feels like that.
Well, the guy doesn't seem to be the same. I certainly agree with that, Dean. And he gave us a lot of promises about ending the stupid wars and all that, and his actions have been completely different, as I've explained before. I think now there are enough physical differences to make it a legitimate question. I think it's a serious and legitimate question. And whether what we've seen already is sufficient to establish is no one question, but I do think there's plenty of room here to investigate and sort it out. This oughtn't to be all that difficult. I've done it with Biden. I've done it with Hillary and her body doubles. I've done it with Michelle. There's a lot of material to work with here, Dean. So I feel comfortable that we can get to the bottom of it.
We will, and definitely your presentation that's coming up is really going to make a real dent into it all. But, before we slide into a little moment of a break here, I just put this together. People said people changed. Kash Patel changed. You noticed that, Jim? Tulsi changed. But people are. Go ahead. Yes, Jim. And well, here's what I think it is. And our good friend James Martinez brought this to my attention. This is, you may remember this from 1987, the infamous moment. David Horowitz over there at the local news station in Los Angeles, was approached while live on air by a so-called CIA whistleblower who held him up at gunpoint and told him to read a following statement. In fact, rather than me trying to remember it all, here it is, just a stroll down memory lane of maybe this is exactly what's happening to the so-called leaders of the United States.
Mail order. Pardon me? What is this? Let me see what it says. All right. All right, well, let me read this. Folks, we have someone on the set who's standing here and would like me to read this copy which was just handed to me. You want to tell me your name or not? What is it? And Gary, where are you from?
At that point, the control room was ordered to go to black, kill the studio mics, and put up a standby slide. But Horowitz continued to read, and the gunman kept the gun in his back.
I was warned in 1981 by someone with connections at the CIA to stay off the computers, that they didn't trust people on computers. Calls from my parents, which led me to believe that something terrible was going on. I was then forced into a mental hospital in Tallahassee, where I learned that my brother-in-law had been driven insane in the same manner that someone was trying to do to me.
Police, who by then had entered the facilities, made plans to deal with the situation. But when the statement had been read, the gunman placed the gun on the desk and anchorman John Beard grabbed it. And to the floor. He has been identified as Gary Stolman, and he said he never intended to harm anyone. Indeed, the gun proved a fake. But Stolman may still face a variety of charges. He is the son of pharmacist Max Stolman, a former member of the Channel 4 News team reporting on medicine and related issues. Max Stolman said, "I do have a sick son. He has been hospitalized a number of times. I am thankful he wasn't killed."
Stunning stuff. Jim, what are your thoughts on that? Because they're making the case that the CIA, whose coup d'etat of 63, is literally just replacing people who get anywhere near positions of executive power. Is that such a feasible kind of idea at this point in time?
Well, I'm open-minded about it, Dean. I would say the evidence is not conclusive. I think when we get deeper into the Trump business, there's a case to be made. We certainly know Joe Biden appears to have died around 2017, that the guy for 4 years in the office was definitely not, had a different shape and size of skull, different signature, different manner of speaking, completely different guys. There's no doubt about that. Hillary used body doubles even in her debates, her national debates with Bernie Sanders and with Donald Trump. It was a younger, thinner, healthier, far more attractive version of Hillary that was on the national stage. It wasn't called out. I don't understand how you could have this Biden, who's obviously not the real Joe, for 4 years not be called out. It's absolutely mind-bending. Michelle being a guy like Bridget Macron, that's something that's a little more within the realm of obviously feasible. But these other major replacements, it's rather mind-bending. Yeah, there you see Bridget with a package that most women have. I find that rather
that's revolting. I don't know who would ever show that. Well, just to close it off on the CIA replacing people, which so what you saw there earlier, that's from 1987. Now, subsequently, the following year, one of the most very loose budgeted films was released, and it was the exact same plot of everything we just saw there. And it's a film called They Live with Roddy Piper. Yes, it is. That is the exact plot that supposed whistleblowers was describing, and it came out in 1988.